too because because they be downloading my stuff so they can hear it and talk crap about it, but it benefits me.
One thing is for sure and two things are for certain. Daddy Sussex loves his wife. Do you see how the Ginger Avenger is looking at her? You know they went home and had big fun. If you know where that reference comes from, you know. They've been married 7 years and they look like they just started dating it in the honeymoon phase. I love this phase for them. Look, they look so good. Did y'all see when Daddy Sussex gave her a kiss? I know every time the trolls, the lunatics, and derangers see them looking this happy and this good, all them people that is preying on their marriage's downfall, they be having full-blown conniptions. I know they do. I love that for them. Oh, Mother already told us this is the happiest she has been. I mean, we can tell, girl. Do you see them smiles? Y'all, I get so giddy every time I see them having fun together and stepping on these people's necks. Y'all have a good day.
This comment I loved so much. So yeah, exactly. So if you're saying that these two conspired and either Meghan was pregnant with somebody else before marrying Prince Harry, or it was they used a surrogate, which a surrogate would still mean that it's her egg and his sperm. So that doesn't even make sense to me. But let's play devil's advocate. So if it's true, that means that the entire royal family was in on this scheme, because there is literally no way that Queen Elizabeth at the time, who was ruling, would allow this to happen. That's the part that, like, not only is it ridiculous, but the Princess Lilibeth and Prince Archie are still in the line of succession. So that means that the whole thing is a scheme. So I just think it's so funny that people are determined to, like, railroad, mostly Meghan. Like, they don't even, people don't even really talk bad about Harry in my comments anyway. But people are so determined to, like, paint Meghan to be this horrible villain, which actually, if she was able to pull off this scam, would be, like, one of the greatest things a woman has ever accomplished in the history of women, in my opinion. But yeah, like, make it make sense. So even if it were true, that means that everyone, Charles, Queen Elizabeth, Camilla, William, Kate, everyone would be into this scam that this woman pulled off. So I would like for someone to clarify that for me. One of the haters, please, if you can do that. I would appreciate it.
Meghan Markle is one of the most Leos to ever Leo, and I say that complimentary style. I say that with the most utmost respect for her Leo game. She really won. She found love in a hopeless place on this floating rock. She found love and a man who loves her down, who stands 10 toes down for her, and she's gonna let us know and remind us every single time. And for that, I have so much respect. Like, you really did that. You better.
Beyonce shared this photo of Meghan and Harry going to her Cowboy Carter tour. Cue the British articles, I guarantee it, of Will and Kate's marriage being so rock solid, and they just love to go to concerts. The British media meltdown coming in 3, 2, 1.
So get a load of this, guys. For date night, Prince Harry and Princess Meghan attended Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour last night in LA, and I am living for this. I absolutely love how these two love on each other, obsess over each other. That's exactly how it is supposed to be. They are very, very much into each other. It is also important to note that Beyonce also took the time to share a picture from their attendance on her website, on Beyonce's website. Not bad for the so-called Hollywood rejects. According to the derangers, OMG. Go Archie and Lilibet's mom and dad, go. I love this.
this comment I loved so much. So yeah, exactly. So if you're saying that these two conspired and either Meghan was pregnant with somebody else before marrying Prince Harry, or it was they used a surrogate, which a surrogate would still mean that it's her egg and his sperm. So I don't even, that doesn't even make sense to me. But let's play devil's advocate. So if it's true, that means that the entire royal family was in on this scheme, because there is literally no way that Queen Elizabeth at the time, who was ruling, would allow this to happen. That's the part that, like, not only is it ridiculous, but Princess Lilibeth and Prince Archie are still in the line of succession. So that means that the whole thing is a scheme. So I just think it's so funny that people are determined to, like, railroad, mostly Meghan. Like, they don't even, you know, people don't even really talk bad about Harry in my comments anyway, but people are so determined to, like, paint Meghan to be this horrible villain, which actually, if she was able to pull off this scam, would be like one of the greatest things a woman has ever accomplished in the history of women, in my opinion. But yeah, like, make it make sense. So even if it were true, that means that everyone, Charles, Queen Elizabeth, Camilla, William, Kate, everyone would be into this scam that this woman pulled off. So I would like for someone to clarify that for me. One of the haters, please, if you can do that, I would appreciate it.
My favorite thing about Meghan being on social media but not looking at social media is we get to realize exactly how unbothered she is and how joyful her life is, because she does not have to see the bullshit that people are saying about her. For example, people are commenting on my TikToks right now about how she's stalking Catherine because she posted with roses yesterday, and there's something with Catherine being, like, having a rose named after her. These people are trying so hard to make themselves, like, relevant and give these conspiracy theories traction. And then in the middle of all of the nonsense, I just see a post from her that's just like, hey, I'm a cowboy Carter and I'm having the time of my life and my husband is kissing me on the cheek and I'm so happy and I'm so in love. Like, are you kidding me? That is joy from a man and a woman who are in love and don't care what people on the internet are saying. And that includes this video. Like, they don't care what anyone is saying, including the positive. And I make this content because it's important to me, and she is important to me and always has been and always will be. But in reality, most people can just stop caring. Like, just leave them be.
And I love Prince Harry, and Prince Harry should be king. He should be king. Prince Harry, not William. William and all of them in there, Camilla is the wicked witch of the devil himself, because she is part of why Princess Diana is not here. I do not like them. I am from the islands, and we don't need them in the Caribbean. Get lost. Demolish the monarchy. This is 2023, okay? And I will support Harry 100%. I do feel for him. Yes, I do. And everything in the book is the truth. And Charles is the monster, not Harry. Harry's no monster, not Meghan. He's bringing the story out right now. They are evil people. They are not nice. Behind the wall, we all are one human being. And behind that wall there are no difference with me and you and any other Brits. Give the people back the money. They are just welfare recipients living off the taxpayers of the British people. And the British people are stupid, supporting that nonsense monarchy. It is nothing. It's just a title. It means nothing, a title. I'm angry at them.
Mr. Hammond of Ghana, happy birthday, sir. Wishing you a very, very happy 100th birthday today. The Invictus delegation has just returned from Ghana and says that you are in fine spirits, and I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you. Thank you from all of us for your incredible service, both wearing uniform and as a veteran. You are quite literally a hero of Ghana. Thank you for the book. I look forward to reading it. Thank you for everything that you do. And I really, truly hope that we will be able to celebrate together once Ghana joined the Invictus community of nations. I've been given good reports from the Invictus delegation. They thoroughly enjoyed their visit and very much enjoyed catching up with you. So I wish you well. I hope to see you.
Well, by the time that Diana died, and in fact, I'm afraid a few years before, the royal family had really given up on Diana. They found her a complete and utter menace, was a threat to the throne. But you have to remember that unless you are born into that family, you are of royal blood, you are always totally expendable in their eyes. They are utterly ruthless, the Windsors. They will get rid of people, and that includes people who marry into them like that. They are not that important. I was told that when it was announced that she was dead that day in August, there was a great sigh of relief around the entire royal family. No, they didn't want her to die in a road accident. That was too horrendous. But she had her court, which was becoming more and more powerful. Really, she was taking on the royal family.
Supports a republic. Graham knows that very well. I mean, the facts simply are, firstly, the role of the monarch above party politics and also a symbol of national unity. We saw it superbly this week. There always was going to be a change, I think, when Queen Elizabeth died, and of course you've had a change at a period of unbelievable voter volatility. We've seen that, but the facts are that any political party, a major political party, would give their eye teeth for the figures in the poll that the monarchy still has. And this is a period, I point out, where you've had an extraordinary use of soft power. I mean, the way Prime Minister Keir Starmer was showing the invitation from King Charles to Donald Trump, whatever one might think of him, it's not the point. The point is that the soft power element here is tremendous, and this builds on Queen Elizabeth's visit to Ireland in 2011 and then the President's visit here in 2014. Sinn Féin altered their stance. The monarchy has enormous relevance, and so far as putting on a pageant is concerned, no other country can match it regarding the coronation. There are 203 countries represented. So what you're seeing is something that's been going for Mark Cromwell for over 1,000 years. There's no doubt that it's part and parcel of the fabric of Britain. The monarchy will change just as views on it in different generations. For example, the problems with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, there's no doubt that that has affected younger voters. I think that's been clear for some time. But there's also no doubt that if you take charitable activities, the monarchy has an absolutely unique profile. We see this with William and the
It makes no difference to charity at all. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, there's so much stuff said about the monarchy which isn't true, and there's been a very detailed study on their impact on charity by an independent authority, which said the impact is close to zero. And you know, part of the problem with them, and part of the problem with William, who is currently in line to be the next monarch, is he's incredibly lazy. He doesn't do anything. I mean, last month he did about 4 days.
Charitable input. Look at the Prince's Trust, now the King's Trust. That helped over $1 million.
It's an independent charity that will function with or without the royals, and the impact of them on charity. I mean, William did about 4 days of work last month. 4 days in total, and when I say work, I mean turning up and waving at people, most of which is done in or near their houses. They really do very little, and they cost us £500 million a year, and for a whole family, which we do not need, including people that most people would never have heard of, like the Duke and Duchess of Kent, the Prince and Princess of Kent, the Duke of Gloucester. They're all included in this £500 million cost.
If you're looking seriously at charitable input, if you look at the way King Charles, since 1970, he was the first figure to internationally push the environment.
Well, that's not true.
It is a proven fact. And also,
the environmental cause has been pushed for decades by all sorts of people, and Charles's views on the environment have been questionable at best many times, and he has a huge carbon footprint. He is a hypocrite, and he is distracting from the very serious issue of the wealthiest people having the largest carbon footprint.
The interest online and also from the media on everything the royals do, you're trying to pretend it doesn't exist, but it does.
No, there's interest in the...
A well-meaning tweet by the South Yorkshire Police has backfired fairly spectacularly, with the internet doing what it does best. This time last week, the force put out a public service plea for help to dob in criminals, asking, "Do you know someone who lives a lavish lifestyle but doesn't have a job?" and saying your intelligence is vital in helping us put those who think they're untouchable before the courts. Unfortunately, it's now gone viral, mostly for the answers. The British public squarely pointing the finger at King Charles and other members of the royal family. Suffice to say, it's likely we are not amused.
Oh, you're far right by Karen Affleck, because you're happy to pay for someone to lord it over you, which makes you a serf, doesn't it, David? You're a serf.
I'm a supporter of the royal family.
Yeah, serf.
I'm not a serf. You had that guy going.
You're
on
happy. You're happy
about
having pensioners freeze to death while the king gets a 50% pay rise. What kind of a man are you, David? Who cares more about the rich than the poor?
Mate, I'm on about £13,000 a year. That's what I'm on.
But you care more about the well-being of a king than the plight of our pensioners. You just said you did. You're a proud royalist, so you're happy the king's getting a 50% pay rise. What do you feel about all those pensioners then, David? Shivering through the winter.
What happened? OK, you're going to give me a chance to speak.
Well, so far all you've done is slag me off for being far left, David. I don't know. I thought we were going to talk about the royals, but you want to just slag me off. So, you do want to talk about the royals. Come on in then, mate. Come on.
We'll talk about the royals. You mentioned the money that could go from the royals to the pensions. What happened at Grenfell, which you mentioned earlier, was absolutely shocking. But the £320 million that goes to the upkeep of Grenfell could go to the pensioners. Are you happy that train drivers...
Sorry, mate. Sorry, David. Let's just go through this basic. Let's go through this basic, right? So you think the deaths of 72 people in social housing, right? Hang on, because that's what the 340 million is about. That equates to a bloke who has 2 helicopters funded by serfs like you. You think that's okay? Why don't you have one helicopter and give up the rest, eh? Why not? You could still be a royalist for that, couldn't you? Why can't it be like a Dutch royal family? They pedal around on bicycles, live in an apartment. Why do they have to have 7 palaces, David? Why does a king... do you believe in fairy tales? Is that why you think kings have to live in 7 palaces and travel around in carriages and have soldiers march up and down inside them because it's what you saw in the fairy tales as a kid and you somehow think that's reality? Look around you. There's royal families all over the place that don't cost us billions.
It's nothing to do with fairy tales. The royal family is one of the best assets this country's got.
Prove
the
it.
amount it brings in tourism.
Prove it, David. Prove it. Find me one piece of data that shows that. Do you know I've looked at that for 30 years, David? There's nothing to show that that's the case. Nothing.
The argument is that he's got to renovate Buckingham Palace, which again is a slightly difficult argument to sustain right now, because lots of people have got to renovate their homes, but don't necessarily get a 45% pay increase to do so. This stinks, because the government has chosen to literally allow him these funds to do up Buckingham Palace at a time when there's so much other need in the economy.
Of course, there'll be pressure on the king to give it back, but shouldn't the real pressure be on the government to change the rules? The same ministers, Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, who is saying, I'm really sorry, we can't afford to give nurses and doctors and teachers and public sector workers a greater pay rise than 6%. There's not enough money, it's inflationary. Oh, by the way, here's another 50 million quid for the king. So you can renovate your so you can renovate your palace. I mean, come off it. That line's not going to hold, is it? The optics of that are dreadful. The politics of that is woeful. And the principle, actually, the morality of that just absolutely reeks. I can imagine if you're a junior doctor or a nurse listening to that report just then, you are absolutely...
Of the Second World War, there was an uprising by the Kikuyu people who wanted their land back.
The Kikuyu were herded into concentration camps and fortified villages, almost the entire population of over 1 million people. People were systematically tortured to death. They invented a new kind of pliers whose purpose was first to crush men's testicles and then to cut them off. They raped women with bayonets. They raped men. Similarly, a favourite technique was to ram sand up the rectum with a stick. Sometimes they were rolled up in barbed wire and kicked around the compound until they bled to death. Some of the British soldiers boasted about this. This is within living memory. The Colonial Secretary lied about it. The papers documenting it were burnt. The impact of the rich and powerful nations has been so phenomenally murderous and destructive that it has been completely airbrushed from our national consciousness. In order to justify the land-grabbing colonial projects, you had to create an ideology. We, the Europeans or the Americans, have come to rescue the rest of the world from its depravity and backwardness. But in order to do that, you have to be able to demonstrate that the rest of the world is depraved and backward. From this arose the racism that is still with us today. It was a necessary component of the colonial project. Some people might claim, well, okay, we broke a few eggs to make this omelette. It's as if all those human beings were eggs. But look at the omelette. Isn't it fantastic? Look, we made this fantastic omelette. Forget about all that unpleasant stuff and let's just celebrate where we are. Where we are is a continuation of the project. We commodified people's land and people's labour and turned it into our property. We're also destroying the rest of the living world alongside it. We don't have to be like this. We are the same human beings as anybody else. We're all part of the same big human family. We just have to recognise that, accept that. And of course, within Western countries, there are plenty of brilliant people resisting colonisation, both internal colonisation within our own countries and external colonisation of other people's countries.
Just 50 years ago, I couldn't even marry a white woman. But now, the British royal family, the most racist Anglo-Saxon empire in the world, you mean to tell me the family that once colonized over 75% of the African world, you mean to tell me the family that once codified blacks as animals, less than human beings, you're meaning to tell me the family that pillaged and robbed and raped South Africa, that pillaged and robbed and raped Ghana, that pillaged and robbed and raped Nigeria, that pillaged and robbed and raped Jamaica, that pillaged and robbed and raped Bermuda, that pillaged and robbed and raped Kenya, that pillaged and robbed and raped Egypt, that pillaged and robbed and raped Malawi, that pillaged and robbed and raped over 75% of the African world, and you're telling me only 60-something years after the end of colonialism, they now want to invite a black woman into their family. You have lost your mind. You have lost your mind. You have lost your mind.
I think that there was celebration and euphoria even when Harry and Meghan got engaged. I think, you know, the nation, we had a day off, we had a bank holiday, there were street parties. I was in Windsor, it was my birthday on the day they got married. It's a beautiful sunny day. Everyone was hugely celebrating and thinking that Meghan and Harry was a real kind of 21st century marriage. It was a breath of fresh air. As a career woman myself, I was delighted that someone was marrying into the royal family, someone, you know, of mixed race heritage, a career woman, opinionated. I think that perhaps in those very positive attributes, therein perhaps lies some of the issues. Here is a very intelligent, liberal, opinionated, left-wing, you know, some would say, woman American who
joining the most conservative institution on earth. Virtually.
Exactly. And a family firm. It's really tough marrying into the royal family. I mean, it's tough enough being born into it. I think it's very tough marrying into it. And I think that she perhaps she said herself that she didn't realise how tough it would be, and she wanted to hit the ground running. And I think perhaps she moved a little too fast.
Operating in a silo, that they weren't consulting the Queen, and that they didn't think that they had a future within the family. My perception of actual palace behaviour, and bear in mind I'm probably closer to this story than anybody here, and I speak to the people that I speak to, and I know people who are very close to it indeed, is I haven't heard any semblance of racism in the tone that is being expressed against Meghan. Now, has there been a degree of anti-Americanism? Yes. Has there been a degree of...
I wanted to ask you also about the conversation that was had about Kate and about this just before the wedding, that there were the tears. And I think at the time it was, I think it was actually...
I wrote the story.
It was your story, wasn't it? And the story that you wrote was that there was an argument for the wedding regarding the bridesmaids' dresses. In fact, let's just see what she said about it. Hold on. So they are saying, with your story, the reverse happened from your story.
A few things on that. First of all, as you know, I don't write things that I don't believe to be true and that haven't been really well sourced. What's interesting about them coming out with that now is, obviously, I'm well known for doing royal coverage. So at any point in time when we had published that, I would have expected to have received a phone call saying it's wrong or it's misconstrued, this mustn't be reported again. I don't know, you'd even expect editorial compliance to be involved. That never happened.
I've got to say, though, that that's all addressed in that interview, isn't it? Because they said that she couldn't understand why nobody stood up for her. Nobody phoned up and said, that's not true.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But it wasn't as if the entire machinery didn't have plenty of time on their so-so to address that if they didn't think it's true.
She also said that very machinery was part of the reason that these stories continued to be perpetuated, was because nobody within the establishment, the institution, stood up for her. They let you write these stories, but they didn't ever refute them.
I don't agree with that.
When it first came out that Meghan had made Kate cry, people didn't question that. The black woman has made the white woman cry. And then years later we find out the opposite was the case. And now people are questioning Meghan instead of accepting it as they did Kate several years ago. It's racism. You can see the difference in how they've been treated. It's obvious to me.
About how the media inflames this. I was called by the Sun newspaper. If you don't know what the Sun is, it's sort of
got the topless girl on page 3. That's all you need to know.
And they called me about a month ago to ask if I'd write about how Meghan was like Wallace and how Meghan was going to destroy the royal family and the arguments between Meghan and Kate. And I said, I'm really sorry, I'm just not privy to all of this. I don't think I could do it. And the commissioning editor was really twisting my arm to write this article and say, but you could say, couldn't you, that X happened, and you could say that she's fired all her staff, and you could say that Kate has said this. And I said, well, I'm really sorry, I don't know that, I can't do it. And this conversation went on for about half an hour, and I didn't write the article, but it just gives you an insight into how this whole thing is being, the flames are being fanned by the media.
During his campaign was Kamala is for they, them, Trump is for you. That was actually referencing defending women, defending women's spaces, women's sports. So this is what they have to do. They have to rewrite history because they had a failed campaign. They had a failed presidency. They put her as the border czar. She never went to the border. So this is about incompetency. It's not about ideology or it's not about
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia, the President, we're going to go to a break right here. We'll be right back.
Part of the family is black. Tell us about your family background, what this means.
See, I'm not real sure about it because we never really talked about it. I am aware that my mother's parents were from Haiti.
Ian Roberts.
Roberts.
Nice to meet you.
Peter Tencio.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Jerome Smith.
Come on, brother. What's up, fam? You know this.
Keith Williamson.
Nice to meet you.
Mary Woodbury.
Nice to meet you.
Jay Martell.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Tasha Robbins.
Come on, come on, come on. Feel
Ian Roberts.
Nice to meet you.
Peter Tencio.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Jerome Smith.
Come on, brother. What's up, fam? You know this.
Keith Williamson.
Nice to meet you.
Mary Woodbury.
Nice to meet you.
Jay Martell.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Tasha Robbins.
Come on, come on, come on.
In another episode of the British press have no idea what they're talking about, Ayurvedics is nothing more than a cleaner, more holistic way to combat illness and depression. Ta-da!
What? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, yo. Who has the time? Who found this out? Why do we care where a 6-year-old child spent their birthday? Why do we care? Meghan posted that beautiful picture of Archie with the sun haloing over his beautiful head, the ocean, the balcony. It was a good looking picture. I didn't think one time, I wonder where they are. I didn't care. It could have been their backyard for all I know, because I don't know the layout of where Harry and Meghan lives. The fact that somebody had nothing but time and energy to look this up is disturbing. These are adults. These are adults. These are adults! Even if you are pro Harry and Meghan, I need you to understand this is not normal behavior. And this is where I jump off, because I can't do the whole stalking. I wonder where they are. Where was this picture taken? It's too much. And now it makes sense to why Meghan put the comment that she put last on her caption saying, "We celebrated last week," so that you all don't go sniffing out the resort, hanging out in the area in Mexico to get a picture of them. There's boundaries, people. Why can't you all respect that? And linking everything to the Brits and Diana, like, you guys are really, really trying to make fetch happen, and it's not going to happen. Anybody who knows somebody of generational wealth, you can borrow their estate for parties, weddings, to hang out, vacation. Rich people look out for rich people. It's more likely that somebody that Diana knew or somebody that another person knew is on the same damn resort. It's not that big of a deal. When did we become a nation that has turned so crazy against kids? I am asking a genuine question. Why are you all so hateful towards children? Why? What is going on with you adults that children are just these punchable, attackable figures to you now? Before the bots or the people who mimic bots come in here, we don't care. 800 comments? What the hell could they be talking about in there? About a kid's party. I don't have time for this. I really don't. I got to pack. I got a wedding to go to. Y'all need help. Real bad. I know we said we were going to ignore the British press, but honey, hold my hand when I say this. Meghan is not doing a royal engagement next week. Meghan being part of the Times Top 100 speakers list is because she is a founder of her own business. Yes, she's a duchess, Princess Henry of Wales if you want to get technical, but she doesn't work for the British royal family anymore. And I'm saying this because don't treat this as a royal engagement, because I've already seen some headlines fly through my little ticker here, because I get news, saying there's a royal engagement next week. I thought y'all was talking about old girl who's in the forest right now. I thought y'all was talking about old boy hugging up on men at soccer games. I didn't know you guys were talking about our Meghan Sussex. That does not apply to y'all no more. This woman is free and independent. She's doing an independent outing that has nothing to do with the British royal family. Okay? I get it. You wish your royals were doing big shit like this, but that's not Meghan's problem. She earned her stake. She earned her claim. She earned her title. She earned, and baby, she's earning. And it has nothing to do with whatever the fuck the British royal family is doing. While y'all are trying to figure out what y'all want to do, Meghan's already got it figured out. So please, respectfully, do not call this a royal engagement, okay? Move on. It's been 5 years. Bye.
Hello, my people. Lady Rose here. How you all doing? To all my new subscribers, you're welcome, and my returning subscribers, you all know I love you. Guys, remember what these people said? These tabloids. Remember what they said about Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex with her husband? They said these people's relationship was not good. They were having toxic marriage. Well, but if that toxic marriage looks like these pictures that we saw here with all those kisses, man, I want all the relationship loving people to be that toxic. Because this level of toxicity, this lovely toxicity is just, I don't know. Oh my goodness. Where is Mumbles? Where is Pete? And where are Pete and Repeat? Where are they? Because I heard they went to a concert a few minutes ago, because you know these days when these people want to say anything about these two, they will sit down there and try to stretch their phrases, try to put some nuances in those phrases that does not really even make sense. They're gonna come around here and tell you guys this blazer that she wore that like 5 to 10 years ago. So y'all just coming out here to tell us that that girl is so broke that she had to repeat every single thing that she wore when she had George. She had Queen Liz's jubilee. She wore some kind of blazers. So they're going to talk about those and try to make like 25 phrases out of one blazer. Because there are no news to talk about. There is nothing absolutely to talk about, because guess what? They look so boring. And they tell you, guess what? We don't sleep in the same bed. I saw this time here, Repeat was before the ex-husband. She was before Pete. Pete was behind Repeat, because you know, in a real marriage of these people, if you are gonna be married to one of those heirs, you have to follow them from behind. Yeah, they're gonna be before you. It doesn't matter wherever it is. Even if you're a woman, they're gonna be before you. That's why this Bulliam is always before Mumbles. But today I saw that white blazer. Damn, that girl is boring. The blazer that she had on even made her short. Girl, you look like bad news. I tell you that miserable. If I was gonna get divorced to be miserable, I would just sit down there. I would just tell them, guess what? You know what? I did suck it up for all these years. I fought so hard to get to this place here, but do not divorce me. But when the guy divorced her, right now here, Mumbles ain't got no money to buy new clothing. No, she doesn't. That girl is so broke, but I wonder why she's not going back to certain riches. Because I know her real tastes are those older men. Because she's a gold digger. That's what Mumbles is. Repeat is a gold digger right now here. Bulliam broke up with her. She's broke. She ain't got no access to those allowances. Can you imagine I'm getting married to somebody and somebody's gonna be giving me allowance at 40 years old? I'm gonna shoot somebody. Come on, God, please protect my mouth. I'm gonna shoot somebody. Oh, God, please help my mouth. Yeah, God, I shoot somebody. You gonna tell me you wanna put me on what? On allowance at 40 years old? Are you crazy? Who you, mama? So, Repeat, girl. So those allows money the money that they were, the payroll that they did put you on, the taxpayers' money that they did put you on, that money got shut down. Wow. Now I see, remember what Prince Harry told you? Prince Harry used to go to TJ Maxx. Yeah, you guys call it TK Maxx in the UK. We have TJ Maxx. This is probably TJ Maxx where I'm driving. See this one here? That's the Nordstrom. Actually, it's not TJ Maxx, but it's one of them stores. Those stores where you buy clothing. But Nordstrom is a little bit too expensive for repeat, because that, like the tablecloth that she had on, my great grandma actually used to have one of those ones. It looked white. And hers kind of had like a really good broderie on it. They looked really beautiful. But this one that Mumbles had on, that is just damn. You know, my great grandma used to have 9 friends, yeah, from the Catholic Church. Those people used to get her those tablecloths, like a beautiful looking ones. But I tell you this, repeat one. Yeah, that the blazer she had on is made from tablecloth, and it was made from the very cheap one. She looked terrible, and right now she ain't getting that allowance money anymore. That's what happens when your ass is too lazy. You can't get up and go do some relevant anything. You buy a degree, and then after that you don't even know how to express yourself. You know, master's program, I've been in one of those master's programs before. Before you graduate those schools, they teach you how to public speak. They teach you like a professional way to express yourself as a professional before people. But baby, repeat, I don't know which school you went to, girl. You can't even express yourself. What kind of leader you gonna be? The historians need to know how to speak and explain to people how history happened. To talk to people about the Frogmore Cottage. Talk to people about the Adelaide Cottage where your ass is low running there. You being broke, girl. You so broke like your mama. All of your damn families just so cursed. That's what happens when you are a social climb and then you ain't got no position. You don't even know how to save. Go back to selling those jewels where jewelries. Yes, that's where you use to sell for some kind of department store. Maybe that's where you're going to go back, because that is history degree ain't working for you. But you can't even speak. How are you going to sit down there, even become a curator in a museum and start explaining to people what Anna Boleyn did? How are you going to sit down and talk about the Henry VIII? You don't even know the history of the people that you get married to. You're so dumb like your mama. But the bad thing that you just so dumb. So the Duchess of Sussex went out here to Cowboy Cutter with our wonderful husband, his Royal Highness Prince Harry. I love this couple. Did y'all see their hat? Yeah, with all the little nod for his family, the princess and the little prince and their mother. Yeah, he said, my love. Oh my goodness, Mumbles, who's calling you my love? You looking for that Sir Richard? Yeah, is that Sir? It's a Sir. Who? Man, these days I wonder which courtier is in you. Girl, you know my mouth. God, I told you all guys. Are you guys praying for me? Reba, y'all guys praying for me? Connie, Mama, I don't know if you guys be praying for me. All them queens out here. Are you guys praying for me? Because my mouth is just damn so bad. You know. Yeah, I don't even know if that dude, what was his name? That dude, Pete. I don't know if he ever, even during all these years they spent together, I don't know if he ever called that woman my love, because he knows why he married her. Yeah, he knows why he married her. And you know, I also heard from people that those children that y'all guys call her children, she never even really gave birth to those kids, because she is just so lazy and her body is lazy. Every single thing that she stands for is so lazy. And that's what the French people call fainéante. Yeah, she is a very, very weak-minded, being weak every single damn thing and dumb. So you know, on top of that, girls, my mouth, I'll be praying too, but you know, sometimes when you pray, and then some prayers doesn't work. That's what's happening. I'll be praying for my mouth, but this mouth be slipping on me, just try and put me in trouble. They're gonna put me in trouble, especially on this YouTube. You know, this YouTube doesn't like black people. Oh God, help my mouth. Cookies and cream, y'all, come on down. Y'all need to sit down here and pray for me, because I'm telling you, Prudence, y'all come down here, pray for me, because I need Jesus, I tell you, God. Oh gosh, oh my goodness, I love the toxicity of Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex's relationship with her husband. I need to see me one of those toxic husbands, like his Royal Highness Prince Harry Windsor. Oh my goodness. The tabloids ain't gonna sleep today. I tell you, they ain't gonna sleep. They ain't gonna sleep these few days around here. The bad thing with these people, they are just so dumb. I mean, how do you just sit down there and confirm something that you do not have proof or any confirmation? And those people are supposed to be some people's fathers and some people's mothers. I feel so sad for them. One day, some of them are changing. Some of them are coming out here and blowing the cover. One day, God is good. Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex and His Royal Highness Prince Harry Windsor keep doing good to people. I saw Prince Harry came out here to wish a happy birthday to one of the veterans of Ghana who is 100 years, sir. We also wish you a happy birthday from the Success Squad. God bless you and thank you for your service, and thanks for the service to my people down there in the motherland of Africa and Ghana. God bless you. And I heard some good news that Invictus is looking into Ghana, and so yeah, we're gonna be happy wherever the board members gonna decide whether they want to take the Invictus games to Nigeria or Ghana. All of those places are the motherland. We love y'all, Ghana people, and we are cousins, y'all. Okay. We love y'all. So whatever's gonna happen, we're gonna be happy to celebrate the Invictus game with our Royal Highness Prince Harry Windsor. Yes, guys. So right now here, let me focus on my road. It's getting a little bit dark out here. And earlier today, my Queen Reba told me that I left my camera on, so y'all guys have been traveling with me. And right now here, I'm gonna turn my camera off. I am requesting all of y'all guys to stop to all the success-friendly channels and go there, bless our sisters and brothers from the Success Squad by subscribing to their channels. Go to my brother Baron's channel. That's the Royal Success. That's one of our big channels that kind of supports all of us out here. Let's get the brother to the 100,000 subscribers. And also go to my sister, my Queen Isabella Banks, Wheezy. Go to her channel and bless the sister. Let's get the sister 10,000 subscribers. She does wonderful work, and she also has those newspapers that I do read, but I don't remember if it's on Substack or it's on her personal website, but she does write really good articles about our favorites. God bless you. I love you. I'm gonna talk to you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.